Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Isabel Omahi, and if you're here for the first time, please do not forget to touch that button, subscribe to this channel, and do leave a comment down below, and do not forget to like this video. So I created this soft beautiful glam. This is a trad inspired glam, and I created it on my lovely model. She had textured skin, so I created this glam, and I'm trying to teach you guys how to create a glam on a textured skin, some with a little bit of pimples here and there. If you want to see how I created this look, please do keep watching this video. Thank you. So I started off with using a Msmetics micellar water to cleanse the skin. It's very important to go ahead and clean your face or your client's face before doing the makeup. And using these two products, this is my snail motion and the badoscue spray. And for my moisturizer, I went in with the Neutrogena moisturizer. That's the Hydro Boost moisturizer. And that is my Msmetics Hydro Grip. That is a primer. That's the matte one. So I used the mattifying primer on just the T-zones. So first thing, I went in with the spray. And then I went in with the snail essence, my moisturizer. And I massage it into the skin, allow it to sit for, I think, a minute. And then I went in with my Hydro Boost on just the T-zones. So guys, I already have a brow tutorial, so I did the brow off camera. If you want to see that video, please look down below. There's a brow tutorial and you can watch that video. So moving on, I went in with my corrector. This is an orange corrector from Yglam. Guys, I'm just using this corrector on the parts she has hyperpigmentations, the parts that are darker. I'm trying to cover up those spots on those pimples. The thing with acne is that you really cannot cover up those bumps. Like, if you say, oh, going with more foundation to just make the look a lot more cakey, so just go in as light as you can. The most important thing is using your corrector or your concealer to cover up every dark spot, so that when you go in with your foundation, it will blend out evenly. And now I'm going in with my foundation using a buffing brush as always to blend it first before I go with my beauty blender. And now you see this will just cover it up perfectly. I used the hudabeauty in nutmeg and I mixed it with my NYX Burn to Glow in Cappuccino, and this just gave me the perfect blend. And if you could see, first of all, what I did was try out the foundation I wanted to use on her skin first before going in with the orange corrector, because that orange corrector will kind of give the skin a different color. So you want to know the exact shade of her face before applying your corrector all over, so you don't mismatch and give her a shade darker or a shade lighter or something. Anyway, it will always look darker. So you don't want to go a shade darker than her actual complexion, because you're not working with her exact tone, because you've applied a product that darkened her or made her pinkish or orangish. So you want to go with an exact shade and an exact skin tone. So that's why I tried it first on her chin or on her jawline before applying the corrector all over. So now I'm just blending with my Yglam beauty blender. As always, please guys, take your time to blend. So I'm just going to set this all with my Kiss Beauty green tea spray. And then moving on, I'm using the Nubian Beauty and aucoin in XS12 mixed with the Nubian Beauty 4.5, I think so, yes. And I'll mix those two shades and I'll be applying it under my eyes, the middle of the nose, the corners of the lips and the jaw, the forehead. Those parts I normally highlight. I'll be placing them there and I'll be blending them out. Always take your time to blend this out, so just keep dabbing lightly in motions. Keep tapping, just tapping motion. So I always take my time blending, especially the under eye. You want to take your time to blend because, you know, if that part is not smooth enough, your setting powder on your under eye is not going to come out flawless. So that's the key to attaining a flawless under eye look. And now I want that part to be a little bit brighter. I went in with my e.l.f. Cosmetics Hydrating Concealer, a brighter shade, and I just placed it there to give me an extra coverage and just to make the beginning part a bit brighter. Now going in with my black opal stick foundation in carob. I'll be using this to contour the side of her cheek, her jawlines, and corners of her forehead. And I'll also be using this to contour her nose. So I'll be applying this in those key areas. And after the application, I'm going to use the side of the beauty blender and I'll just blend this out in the exact same tapping motion. So you guys, you can see that with the skin now, you can't see any hyperpigmentations anymore. It's all covered up. That's the most important thing when dealing with textured skin. Try to cover up the hyperpigmentations. Do not focus so much on the pimple, because when your skin work looks good, nobody's going to really notice the pimple. It's just going to look flawless. And covering up pimple doesn't mean applying so much products. Please keep that in mind. It just means the skin should look well hydrated. Use a foundation that's, you know, if the skin is oily, if it's dry skin, use a foundation that it's good for the skin types that suit that particular skin type. That's just the key point in dealing with people with acne, you know. So I'm just gonna keep blending that out, and you know, the skin looks good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply cream blush using my iMagic palette. I mixed those two shades, the pink one and the peach. So I'll be applying it at the corners of the cheek and the forehead, as I always do. You guys, I hope you all are watching my other videos. Please do go ahead and watch my other videos. I know it might look like I'm repeating things, but to be honest, the more you watch a particular routine again and again and again, that's when you kind of learn and it sinks into your head. So don't be like, oh, we've seen the same routine. Yes, you have. Go watch it again and again and again and let it sink in, and then practice. Okay, practice makes perfect. So please go ahead and practice. Thank you. Yes guys, so now I'm just setting the under eye, and I'm using my Laurameicer setting powder, then translucent as always. That's my go-to first set, because it just, you know, it's no color, so it gives that exact, you know, shade of your concealer. So then you can add color if you want. So I'm using it to set all that area I applied concealer first of all. Going in with my Dabel Cosmetics powder, I'm going to be applying it on the rest of the face, and I'm not touching the part I contoured actually. I'm just applying it in other parts of the face. So for the parts I contoured, I'll be using my Morphe face palette, the Totally Tan 8T palette, and I'll be going in with that shade, the shade for contour. There's a shade that is written contour, and I'll be using it to contour the sides of her face. That part I applied the black opal stick foundation, you know, kind of tracing out a more just below that part a bit, just kind of snatch, give that a snatch line effect. Yes, that's what I did. And now going in with the bronzer, I used the next shade, that's the bronzer, the darker shade of the bronzer, to bronze her entire face. Then I'm going in with the blush shade on that palette, and I'll be applying blush on her cheeks. And I'm also using the other bronzer shade to contour her nose. So now I'll be baking with my Sacha butter cup. I'll just be baking underneath her eyes with this setting powder. It got a little bit teary-eyed, so I kind of had to go ahead and just reinforce the bake under her eye. Going underneath where I applied the contour powder, I snatched underneath that part in the both sides. Now going in with my Tara eyeshadow base, I'm applying that as my base shade, and I'll be blending that out. After that, I'm just going to be going ahead with my Morphe palette, and I'll be applying my transition shade. I'm using those two shades for my transition color, and I'll be applying that on just a little bit above the crease. So now going on, I'll be using this dark brown, and I'll be applying that all over the lid. I'm gonna just take my time to blend this shade out all over the lid. Moving on, I'm using this other darker brown to kind of give a little bit of a contour on the outer corner of the eyes, and I'm just going to drag it out a bit. Using this eyeshadow shade, I mix a bit of those two shades and I just apply that on the lid. I don't know why I'm using my palm, but I told you guys I love working with my fingertips. I just like to apply eyeshadow shades with my fingertip. I just feel like it gives more where's the word? It just gives it more intensity. Is that a word? Yes. So now going in with these two Luztaz cosmetic pigment. This is in Juicy and Sebastian. I'm using the one in Sebastian all over our eyes. First of all, like always, I went in with the NYX glitter primer. Yes, and then I went in with the Sebastian shade all over the eyelid. I'll be using the Juicy shade in the inner corner and a little bit in the underneath the eye, in the inner corner of the under eye. That's where I'll be using the Juicy. It's kind of a light, not really silver, but it comes out a bit silverish. So now I will be using the dark brown underneath her eyes. I'm going to just smoke it out a little bit underneath her eyes, so it's, you know, the under eyes is matching the top of the eyes, you know. Nice transition. So now I'm going in with my black pencil. This is a Merak Cosmetics black pencil. I'll just be lining that outer corner of the eyes. You can see I'm dragging it up a bit so that I get underneath the eyes properly. And I'll also be lining the inner corners under the eyes. I'll be lining under the eyes, and I'm using black to kind of smoke out the liner. I want it to have a little bit of a smoky effect, so I'm just going to be smoking that out. But I'll try also not to overshadow that brown underneath it, so I would not come so much under. So it kind of has a transition of black and brown, so darkest, you know. Get it? And now that part I applied the pencil. I'm going to also be using black to smoke it out and kind of creating a line, and I'll be taking it up. It's going to kind of give the eyes a lift. Just look at the both eyes, one without that black smoked out look and the one with the smoked out. Can you see there's a difference? So just doing that kind of, you know, it just gives a different look. You guys, you can try this trick out. It just makes your eyes, do I say Chinese use? I don't know what's the word to use, but it just kind of gives your eyes a whole different vibe. It's so pretty. And now I'm dusting off any excess fallouts. Now I'm actually adding that juicy on that part of the eyes, just to, you know, make that part pop a bit more. I also lined the top of the eyes, so I did my liner, and now I'm doing mascara. So I went in and did the lashes off camera, just the Voan lashes, and then I'm lining again just to bring back all that details. Now the Gele guy, that's Tough Attorney TT Gele, he's done his magic with the Gele. The Gele is done. Look, it's almost done. So now I'm doing the lip. I'm going in with that purple shade in the Eye Magic palette, and I'm using it all over her lips. And then I'll go ahead and reinforce the lining with a little bit of the brown, just line on top of the lips. And now I'm going in with that pink in that palette. I'm just going to be blending it out. I want the lips to look a little bit pinkish and a little bit purplish, you know, kind of matching the outfit a bit. Now going in with this NYX lingerie lipstick in Baby Doll. I'll just be applying that in the inner corner of the lip, and I'll blend it. Going in with my V palette blush, I'll just be mixing different shades of those blush, the pink, the oranges. I'm just mixing and I'm just applying it to the cheek, kind of giving a good lift to the face. And using my Sephora Beauty powder in Sand, I'll just be using this to dust out the excess setting powder, and it will just create a nice highlighted effect underneath the eyes, as it's a lighter powder. Going in with my Keys Beauty setting spray, I'll be using this to set this look. Now going in with this blush from TM Essential, I'll be applying that on the cheek, the high corners of the cheek. And do not forget, I just applied lip gloss. That's clear gloss I applied just at the beginning part of the lips. I will still apply other than the inner corner of the lips. I don't know why I just did that differently. Led by the spirit, I guess. Now going in with this Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous highlighter. I think this is a pearl, yeah, and I'm just using this as my liquid highlights. And after using this, I'll be going in with a powder highlight. I'm using this Inglot 03 highlighter, and I'll be applying just a little on her cheek, her nose. Okay, now a trick with applying loose highlighter on a textured skin, you have to find a part of the skin that does not have any texture. To be honest, if every part of the skin has texture, please just skip on the highlight in the cheek. Just skip it. It will just be too textured and it will show. In fact, it will make the pimples say, yeah, look at me, see me. So what I did was I looked at the parts that did not have texture, and that's why I applied my highlighter. If the whole part of that face had texture, I would not be applying highlighter. So the trick is, to be on the safe side, you could just use the luminous highlight. You must not use powder, because powder highlighter emphasizes those things. So now I went ahead and did my brows, you know, with the hair wax, and did the glow with Royal Body Glow, and that's it. This is the final look. What do you all think? Please tell me in the comment section. Please, you guys, help me and engage on my videos, please. And if there's anything you want to see on these videos, please do let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you all. Bye bye.